Ohio State. They've had 3 turnovers the last 5 trips down the floor. Almost coughed it up again. Open in the corner. That triple drops from Alston.
Possession where there are multiple offensive rebounds.
Now 5 for the game for Nebraska. Mason. Jumper is true.
Sam 3-point line for Nebraska.
And we've talked about it as well with their pick and roll defense. It's not been particularly sharp through this first half. Here's Mason at the free throw line. The jumper rolls home. Good shot. Tingel still trying to find that rhythm. He never really gotten it back since the ankle injury against Ohio State.
He had the hip as well. Dealt with injuries all season long. Boy, screen, rescreen.
Nebraska looking for the lead.
Numbers, what a play.
Taken away. Mason to the rim for 2 and a chance for him. How about the 18th game this year for Bryce Williams with 20 points or more?
That's a 5th-year senior going up against a true freshman. And just the way Ali got knocked back right there, he doesn't have an answer for the physicality that Bryce Williams is bringing.
Mason fading away. Washington State game. Ali misses them both, but an offensive rebound from Mason and the putback.
From the smile.
And they've taken advantage without him in there. 28 points in the paint in this half.
That's been a problem for Arizona State all season long.
Mason to the rim for 2.
Turnover, countering back the other way. And Coleman Hawkins tried to lob. The problem was he hit the rim with the pass.
And Coleman Hawkins has had 2 transition plays where he's turned the ball over. That's unacceptable for a guy of his caliber. And you have a bad turn. What's happened so far for Kansas State? They've cooled off and they've kind of gotten back to reality in a sense.
Alston Mason, another 3, and he ties the game. Jaden Quates, who is too young, he can't go pro. But those are 2 pieces. If Arizona State could bring them back, Amir Ali, another season of Sean Phillips Jr. Trevor Best has showed flashes this year.
Yeah, maybe get a few freshmen, get a few transfers in the portal.
Alston Mason for ASU.
I'm looking forward to that one, partner.
That's coming up next. ASU needs to go quick. Alston Mason weaves his way to the bucket. Against Hawkins, give the back.
Inside, here's Kerwin Walton, usually a 3-point specialist, and he misses from close range. Good defense by ASU. Mason from the elbow. On their heels. Walton again. Off the front of the rim. And that one's snared by Jihad. Chance to take a lead with a triple for the Sun Devils. Mason goes into the lane, high off the paint, and it drops it for tie.
Play or hinders his movement and slows him down.
Graham McCaslin needs him right now. Red Raiders offense 1 for 8 to start the second half. Here's Mason.
Tough to guard. When he misses a shot, his ability to be able to get it right back and go up immediately is as good as almost anybody in this league.
Mason for 3. Just a double-double by this young man. Only a sophomore, 19 years old, the Dallas native, J.T. Topper. Mason working on a hobble.
Knocking down great-looking threes.
Loose ball grabbed by Bashir Jihad. Here comes ASU. Alston Mason in transition. Mason drives it. Mason scores.
And come up empty. Easy stroke from the top of the key for Love.
Arizona's matched their largest lead. First points for Love. Was approaching 2,600 career points. All-star
corner pocket. Caleb Love, business as usual.
Largest lead for the Wildcats. First foul, by the way, on Caleb Love. Alston Mason rips to the back. ASU down to 6 healthy scholarship players, and Sean Phillips Jr. on the bench with 2 fouls. Dad, let me take it from here.
Exactly. Let me go ahead and see if I have some success. Plenty of time to get a good look here.
Alston Mason, the pull-up 3 at the horn.
pay special tribute to a man who made so many magical moments for you, me, and everybody at ESPN and all the fans around the country.
He loved this game because of all the offense. I can just hear him now as Alston Mason. By himself underneath the lane for more. And the flush, Caleb Love.
Beautiful play design by Arizona. They've run that multiple times this year.
And back the other way for the Wildcats. Inside 6.5 minutes. Josan Sanin finds Alston Mason in the corner for a three, and it's a three. Iowa State, those two teams were tied for fourth right behind Arizona and Texas Tech.
Now, when you look at the box score for that game, they're not supposed to win with that many.
In Lawrence, Kansas on Saturday at Allen Fieldhouse to take on Bill Self's Jayhawks. Well, ASU will wrap up the regular season at home and get a terrific Texas Tech team in Tempe. Alston Mason to the bucket.
Hard for guys to come out sharp and stay focused. Now, I have no doubt they'll snap into it and start playing, but that is the battle that all coaches have this time of year. It's the mental battle, mental fatigue and focus.
Again, only 6 scholarship players. Mason, mid-range, splash. Kid's magic all season long because of injuries and sputtering minutes. It'd be so cool to see him kind of have a night tonight. Darting out of the pack, here he goes, all lathered up. Joe Sanin. Do you think this is something you'll see, by the way, Arizona State take its time sometimes on offense to catch its breath?
Well, they're hunting matchups. They believe that they can beat people off the bounce, and they're waiting for a matchup like this where they think they can make something happen.
Mason, following your advice, high off the window. His hand, but I said, what's his availability like? He said, oh, he's going to gut it out.
It's in the DNA. Yeah. It's required. You carry that last name, you're tough as nails.
Been a lot of fun tonight. Sanin falling away. Bobby Hurley wanted the foul, and so did Sanin. Somehow Mason comes down with the board. It's 6-2 over the 6'10". Sharp jumps became an issue.
The Utes have had a lot of players become an issue here in the second half, and quickly caught up and erased the deficit and then started pouring it on from three.
Sanin to the hole. Nice take.
Averaging 17 in the last 6 games, with Sharp not being his usual self. LJ Cryer has rose to the occasion and really stepped up in the scoring department.
A 10-2 lead for Houston. Once again, shot clock running down for Arizona State. Mason gets it up, and he hits the three. He said, we all thought the next day in practice he was going to give it to us. It was going to be one of those rough ones. And then Coach K actually tricked us with ice cream, and it totally changed the mood. He said, that's what I'm trying to do for my guys here. Inside, out of the timeout. Sharp open from the wing, and the three rings out. Rebound to Alston Mason. On Sanin, another one of these freshmen who reclassified to play college ball early.
Mason dropping by everybody. Extra pass, Ali with 6 on the shot clock. Mason in close. How about that?
They're humping win games. I mean, the game against Kansas, they're not supposed to win. So going to the McKell Center against Arizona, that's a very tough place to win. But they find ways, despite not being their best, to get dubs.
Houston's largest lead of the game right now, up 9. Mason clock. Roberts taking his time. That jump hook short. Fight for the rebound. It's won by Arizona State. Freeman with a 3-on-2. Mason, 3-ball. Ball has not touched the paint yet. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ali, long rebound goes to Mason. Inside, finishing with the left. See if he can make something happen with the little Euro, missing out the rim. Arizona State with numbers. Mason in transition, knocks down the 3.
Ali gave you some really good minutes tonight. He did make some freshman mistakes, but you see the potential in him. You see him being the stretch forward that can handle the basketball and that can make some tough plays.
Mason knocks down.
More growing to do for sure. And I love this one here, the roster breakdown. You know, they added 6 transfers, 4 true freshmen. A lot of them get opportunity like Jace Posey, and then this kid right here. He is absolutely doing it for Jamie Dixon. There's something to be heard from for these Horned Frogs before it's all said and done.
Mason, reverse, then and Arizona State. Still plenty of time left. A lot of distance, it feels like, between TCU and the Sun Devils, but Mason trying to close that distance and down. Here comes Mason, screaming into the forecourt. Launches a 3, knocks it down.
14 points in the first half. 14 for JT Town. 6 of 8 from the field to go along with 5 rebounds. Mason, pump fake, steps into a contested 2 and rolls it in. Tough mid-range point. Hawkins behind the back, loses the ball. Jihad dives for it. Sandin up ahead, surrounded by 3 Red Raiders, kicks it out. Mason triple and a. Hawkins now with 3 assists. Hawkins came into this game averaging just over 6 per game. Mason steps into the 3 and another players there in the huddle because they just battled back and have reclaimed control of this game.
Well, multiple guys came over and very intentionally wanted to slap Kerwin Walton on the back or make sure to acknowledge him. He didn't have much to do with it. He was taking deep breaths. He seemed a little tired, honestly.
Well, hopefully they had some oven mitts when they touched him because Kerwin Walton, 13 points in 5.5 minutes. Both teams 29 combined points in the first 5.5 in the second half. Mason working against Hawkins. Mason adjusting in midair somehow. Texas Tech regains the lead. Will Arizona State continue to respond like they have been here in the second? Ten to shoot for Sandin. Mason working against Hawkins. 4 on the shot clock. Mason contested 3. Somehow banks it. Ice cold. We saw Hall for UCF go for 40 against Arizona State earlier this year. Topping with 39 at the moment. Mason sprints to the cup and picks up the.
Just, sometimes mentally you've got to relax. You can be your own worst critic and just go play and see what happens.
Arizona State scored the first 15 points of their game against Kansas State midweek. 11-2, it's Oklahoma State off to the hot start here. A foul on a 3, and Mason drilled.
But again, got to capitalize in this stretch where Oklahoma State has struggled themselves on the offensive end.
Mason, runner is through off the window.
Yeah, really smooth.
Mason drifting, Sandin, clean look from the corner. Long rebound, tracked down by ASU. Mason's 3 is on target.
He's off the bench. He's just an active rebounder, terrific offensive rebounder. Taps it to Dow in that situation.
Mason flipping it up with the sweeping. Banks in a half-court shot. Mason, his 3, got it!
Wow, I'll tell you what.
Oklahoma State has led wire to wire. They've led by double figures most of this second half. Arizona State got it down to 7, but the Cowboys hit a 3 on the other end of the floor. Mason a 3. That one is through.
Really good numbers. He's been an important piece. Hasn't translated necessarily on this level, but rarely does when you play in a league like the Big 12. But he is definitely a guy with some experience and some toughness.
Pushes the Oklahoma State lead back to 10. Mason, he flips it in. 25 points.
One of the most sought-after players in the country last year. One of the smoothest strokes you'll see. Rattles out for him. Mason gets the long rebound. Charges to the hole. Deceptive. Give him a shot.
Right into a turnaround jump shot. I love the way he utilizes the glass to solve for the shot against the defense.
Yeah, David Gasson at 6'9" might be the best athlete on Kansas State. Alston Mason. 2 straight threes.
That's what you call unselfish team. Don't care who gets credit for the bucket as long as K-State gets the bucket. And that's a reflection of Coach Tang and the culture that he is building here at K-State.
How does Arizona State get back into this game?
They got to start going inside for baskets. I said they shot too many threes in the first half.
Well, that time free.
All that foul. He's not going to get an assist for that. But boy, that was a beautiful play. Back-to-back front end of these 1-and-1s missed by both teams.
Mason threads the needle, had it on his hip and puts it on the win. Maybe they owe you some money, Scott. It sounds like some free advice to me. Hawkins can't find the handle. Here comes Freeman. Mason in transition to 2.
Yeah, Coach Tang needs it. Make it 22, Pete. They're a little slow with the scores table here. And 8 boards as well. But now, K-State needs to stop.
Oh, to the 10 and in.
Trying to feed it to Jihad. Turnover. Loop it. Freeman. Free safety gets back. And Freeman showing off the handles. Kick. Mason. Got him. How about that? It did not affect Carter Bryant. They might have to break Grant Hill back out.
That's him.
58-52.
Again, the pressure after the makes.
This time, Arizona State handles it much better. Satin. Outside Freeman. Now, Mason. Yes, sir!
Tell you what, the coverage was great.
Without Quaintance and get a win. Obviously, that's huge for many, many reasons. But you're right. This is a team. They're talented. It's something to keep in mind, too, in addition to some of the injuries that they have had. They're relying heavily on 3 freshmen that play big roles on this team. That's rare in Power 5 basketball.
Almost taken away by Smith, who's now on the floor. Look at Miller. Rips it away, and Miller up for Mason. An easy layup.
Well, that's it.
Didn't score in the first matchup. Hasn't scored tonight. He's 0 for 4 from the field.
Tell you what, Rob Hurley and his ball club, they've filled their quota and more of dealing with injuries. Good news is you don't have anybody in foul trouble. Sandin has 2. At halftime by Tad Boyle. Those guys have to get it going.
Averages 14 a game, just 2 tonight. How tough is it when you lose guys the caliber of what they lost? Obviously, other guys have to step up, but it's just different roles as Mason's.
Offensively aggressive, makes a couple shots. Now he's out there playmaking.
In 2 games against Arizona State, Trevor Baskin has 42 points, 19 tonight. Mason right at the shot blocker, Dak, who gets whistled for a foul.
That streak of 21 straight games in double figures for Curtis Jones. Iowa State 17-4 in those games. Right now they're down 3 on the ropes in the first half on the road. Mason, the blow by.
Or that.
Mason, are you kidding?
Foul number 4 on Keyshawn Gilbert. Nate Heisey takes his place on the floor. Number 3, Iowa State looking to avoid the upset. Tough
two, and a runner.
Going all the way back to the first half, but they're hanging around, and now they got the fans on their side.
Yeah, 5 free throws.
Mason connects.
Yeah, Page thought he got
Frederick wide open. And numbers for the Sun Devils. Bearcat tumbled down. What do you want to see this possession?
So now this will be a pick and roll situation here. Here it comes, right here in the middle of the floor. Trying to open up the court with shooters.
Mason with 6 on the timer. High kiss make.
Mitchell shooting those shots. That's part of Arizona State's defensive strategy. They're not closing towards him behind the three-point line. They're going to close out short. I'm sorry.
This is a game, Avery, that the Bearcats have largely dominated, and yet it's single-digit difference. Back door. Oh, what a feed. What a...
Teams have gone to the bench. Cincinnati struggled to score.
Mitchell, Jihad able to control it.
Arizona State's resigned to the fact that they're not bringing over any help. When Mitchell or Page post up, they're going to play them what we call single coverage. No help.
Ball a little flat here. Mason on high. 3-ball.
Attempted shot under 10 seconds on the shot clock.
High kiss banker miss. Jihad under 2 minutes. Armed with 2 timeouts. Quainton's asking for the ball. But at what point with the math do they need threes? Quainton's pawed at.
Arizona State just had
Mason and one.
Something. It is the Hall issue. I mean, he's had layups from 2 and 3 feet away. He's not going to shoot a bad percentage. They may want to consider putting a bigger defender on him. But right here, they've got bigger issues. Is offense against the zone. Mason with the to have 18 points, not even 8 minutes into this game. That will be addressed at halftime. Somebody's going to have to step up for Arizona State and say, you know what, I got him going forward. Try to shut him down.
Mason falling away in
front, and he takes a 3 right to the face from Johnson. They are shot makers. The whole team can shoot. Johnny Dawkins got a great team of talented guys who share the ball and can all shoot.
Big 3. Ivy Curry. Another rejection. Looked like Quainton's got a hand on that one. 6 games of 4 blocks or more for Quainton's. And he's up 38 points. And at this point, it is academic for the Sun Devils. Mason racing across half court.
Doing a great job of settling in this environment, sticking to the script, getting back to inside buckets.
Somebody's got to hit a shot for Arizona State. Haven't had a field goal in over 6.5 minutes. Where is the answer right now? Jihad skips it across. Mason gets himself an open look and hits it. Desperate.
Fighting for every loose ball. Offensive glass right there. Huge play.
8 points, 11 rebounds for Josso Jonwuna.
That's what you want out of your teams on the road. You want them to answer and respond.
Mason
has to continue to play solid defense, communicate, and they want to make sure they come up with this rebound.
Arizona State trailed by as many as 15. Mason going downhill, off the glass and good. It's a one
call, and the Bears keep stacking buckets on buckets here in overtime as the Sun Devils can't seem to find the hoop.
Mason finally
with the rebound. And now Miller handling.
I just don't like the shot right there by Rylan Griffin. There was no movement defensively. Didn't get the defense to rotate from one side to another. Thought it was a rush shot.
Mason lines it up and hits. Well, one of
free throws attempted per game. Like, that's a big missed opportunity by not initiating contact and making it a priority to punish your players in the paint.
Store had it stripped away. Quaintance dives on it. Gets it over to Miller. Arizona State the other way. Mason got it. Lived up to the billing going up against Hunter Dickinson here. Some pressure from the Jayhawks. It's a three-point game. Under 90 seconds to go here in the first half. John Shambi and Jay Williams from Allen Fieldhouse. Mason weaves inside and leaves it off the glass and soft touch. And inside, Mason gets that to full advantage for Kansas since the break. Mayo can't hit. But Kansas, after a sluggish first half, puts it to the Sun Devil.
He has his second basket down low. Mason, the point guard, from the top, and he hits the dot.
You got to knock those down.
Ranchi. Ali the rebound.
Not a good offensive possession for the Bucks. One-on-one in traffic, forced up a shot. Got to be a little more patient.
Uncharacteristic of Colorado basketball, what's happening on the offensive end. Sun Devils have built an 11-point lead in this first half. Mason deep in the timer, throws it up and gets it to go. Yakumovsky has it blocked. Jopa miss. Quaintance clears. Mason swiveling and scoring.
It's what Kevin Young really wants is great ball movement. They've assisted on 80% of their baskets that they've made so far today.
Adam Miller running the break. The flyby for Alston. Mason and a three.
And one thing I'll tell you about ASU, we've seen